So good morning, Bill.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, tell us, we want to know more about this space. I mean, I live up the street, I could walk here.
Right.
And when I moved to town, this was T-Ticket Farm, which I thought was so cute.
Right.
And it's on Webster Road, et cetera. And I painted this 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But there's more to it than T-Ticket and Arethusa. So that's what we
Right.
want you to tell everybody, the history
Okay.
of the farm.
All right. Well, I grew up right like a mile from here, so
Oh.
I've been around for 62 years now in the community. So I did know, growing up, I knew Art Webster, who was the last of the Websters that owned this property, and he sold it in 1981. But up until then, his family had, I don't know, 3 or 4 generations back since 1868. I think is when they started Websters, and they had a milk route. They delivered milk to people at homes, and everybody remembers getting that. So dairy farm originally, and then when he sold it in 1981. Mrs. and Mr. Guernsey, who ironically their last name is the breed of cow that they had. Yeah, I know. Guernsey's one of the breeds, and that's the breed that Art had. So I always thought that was funny that just fate happened.
The universe is funny.
Exactly, yeah. So she bought it and turned it into T-Ticket Farm, converted the main dairy barn into horse stalls, and it was a horse farm
Was that why there was little britches?
Yeah, they were part of that,
They were
probably.
part of
Yeah,
T-Ticket?
they might have been. They might have
Okay.
been. Yeah, I'm not sure how old Little Britches. They've been around for quite a while, but
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
they've used
A lot
that. It's
of
a
kids
therapeutic
learn
riding.
riding,
Yeah. So anyhow, so they and I didn't have much connection with the horse era of it, but I just knew that they were down here. And then in 1999, the Guernseys put it on the market, and Tony and George, who lived across the street, saw that it was going to be sold and didn't want it to be
that's how
developed.
they saw.
And they said, it's a beautiful farm, we need to buy it. So they bought the farm, and then they got interested in dairy cattle, and they got interested in really high-end, amazing, purebred dairy cattle with reputation. So they turned this into a really high-end
Now,
dairy farm again.
Their breeding cows were auctioned in these international auctions.
Yes,
I remember when
yep.
the whole field was tented.
Right, they had a big tent. Yep. They had a
What
big
was the
sale here.
largest price that one of these?
I'm pretty sure one of them did sell for close to $1 million. I mean, they were, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And the value of these cows
And what is the criteria by which a cow is
can be
assessed
worth that
at
much.
that value?
Right. It's basically what they can produce for their offspring. They do a lot of embryo work so that they are able to have the cows produce many embryos instead of just one calf a year. You can actually do embryo transfer and get
Like
the cow.
IVF for cows?
Basically, IVF for cows, yep. And what they can do is take a superior cow and get a lot of offspring right away from her in 1 year. And then what they'll do is pick a really good bull calf out of her, and then that bull becomes a sire of many of them, and then it goes on like that. So it's usually, the dairy industry has changed so
This
much.
is really
People have no idea how much science is into this
Yeah.
this thing called dairy farming, and so they took it to the high end. They went around the country and bought some really good cows, and then bred from them, and just created this Arethusa brand of cow that is just.
Where do their scientists live?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of companies that do reproductive
Okay.
work, so and it's happening all over.
Like I was telling everybody, I was telling Bill when I got here several years ago, I was able to visit a farm like this in Italy
Right.
that
yeah.
produced all its own energy by creating methane gas out of the waste of
Right.
the cows.
Yeah, that's happening
and
a lot of
everything you're
places, too.
talking about, plus the whole. Now talk about feeding the cows the specific menus
Right.
for cows at different stages of growth.
Right. With the modern dairy dairy farming for a long time, obviously the most important thing is what the cows eat is going to
Yeah.
see how they grow and they produce. So most of the farms use what's called a total mixed ration, which is like you said, a recipe. They just blend a lot of different feeds to get that right nutrient and fiber content that will make the cows produce as much as they possibly can and keep healthy. And then also all the different stages of the calves up to the heifers to the cows all get different requirements. So yeah, it's a science to it, and it's pretty fascinating.
In Italy, we saw a lot of flower and blossoms in the.
Oh yeah,
calf
there's a lot of
food.
byproducts that get fed.
Yeah.
There's whey. There's byproducts from making beer. Brewery wastes. There's a lot of things that are great for cows to eat that no one else
Brewery
can.
waste, and
yeah.
in Germany, they want lactating moms to drink a bunch of beer.
Really?
Yeah, it helps produce milk.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's part of it. So
And,
yeah, and then
Is it possible to set up here or
Yes.
underneath this?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. See?
Thank you.
Art.
Yeah, I know.
Art and cows.
So anyhow, so then they sold the cows about 4 years ago, and then Tony was deciding what he can do with the farm because it's a lot to maintain, and he decided to gift it to the newly created Arethusa Farm Foundation, which is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that the mission is to keep this, preserve this as a farm forever, but also turn it into an agricultural education center for all ages. So I was hired last November of 2025 as the executive director to do this, and I have
Now,
a
you're
life.
from a farming family.
Right, I grew up on a dairy farm, Tollgate Farm, which is one of the other original farms in the town of Litchfield, right up a mile here from on Chestnut Hill. So I grew up on that farm, and then I taught agricultural education in Woodbury at Nottowag High School for 33 years.
Ah, fellow
And then
teacher.
and then also I was the county 4-H, Yukon 4-H educator for
Oh,
the
at
Litchfield
the,
County 4-H over in Torrington.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
and I was there
What
for
do they
6
call
years.
that office?
The extension,
The extension
extension
service.
service, part of the Yukon. So I was at for 6 years, and then last fall decided to come and help make this place into what we hope it'll be.
That's
So,
pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's a really
Yeah,
great.
yeah. I
great-
think we're going to be
it's
able
gonna
to
be fun.
do a bunch
Yeah.
of stuff
Yeah.
together.
So what we want to do here is right now we have beef cattle, sheep, chickens, goats, some pigs. You know, we're just starting off, but we want to get dairy back also because it's a dairy farm,
Because?
and the legacy has to continue.
And
so
you're also cultivating produce.
yeah, we have an 8-acre irrigated field that they actually did have in production for 2 or 3
Yeah,
years.
because literally the
Yeah.
farm stand is mint.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
just beautiful.
Yeah, it's a beautiful farm stand. Everything done here is high quality
I
for
know.
sure, and we're going to try to keep it that way. So we want to resurrect the vegetable production too, and we already have a quarter of that field up on top, back into production, and we're going to hopefully get the rest of it eventually to do that too. So one of the things, the 5 things we want to do at the foundation is, first thing, preserve it as a farm forever and keep it a working farm, which is going to be great because we also have the Connecticut Department of Agriculture is going to purchase the development rights for the
Oh,
farm, and so
very
it'll be part of
nice.
their farmland
Very
preservation
nice.
program. So that's happening within this next half a year. So this is their flagship farm that they're doing it with this year. They're excited because they absolutely love the property and we have to preserve it. So that's going to lock us in forever and ever as a farm, which is great. Second thing we want to do is ag literacy for little kids because there's not many farms, so kids have no idea where the food comes from or the importance of farms, sustainability, environmental, all that stuff. So we created a day camp last summer and this summer, and this year we have 580 kids throughout the summer, 10 weeks of kids,
That's
about
outstanding.
60 to 70 a week that come in. They learn everything about farming, about a little bit of ag mechanics, horticulture, gardens. They go up and they harvest stuff out of the garden, they plant something, they work with all the animals, they learn how to use tools, they build little bird boxes, just some hands-on things, and the kids absolutely love it. The parents say that there's no other camp like this.
No.
Because, you know, a lot of camps will, they'll do coloring books on a picnic table for half the day. These kids come and they just work and learn, and they're out there and they're fishing in the pond and they're scooping out of the pond to see what bugs they can find, and they do insect hunts and learn about pollinators, everything. It's just an awesome
I remember
experience.
when we were little kids back in the 60s in school, we had to collect, you know, the insect boxes. And we had,
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah,
But I
yep,
thought
yep.
to myself, well, kids don't have any idea
That's
about
what we do.
doing
Yep,
that kind of
that's
stuff.
and we do little
Cute
rock,
little cigar
different rocks.
boxes,
Yeah.
little labels, they're
Little
fun
pins.
to make.
Yeah, of course. I remember doing it too. Yeah.
Sure.
So that's all good stuff. And also the age. Some people are like, oh, you know, little kids are not going to remember everything, but 5 to 8, 5 to 9, that is the sweet spot of kids that will be imprinted forever. And a good example of that is
Imprinted forever.
last year we had the first year of camp, and we had a mom who now is back as a counselor for us, and she said that her little son John, he was 5 years old last year when he built his bird box. We always give the kids a little pair of safety glasses to take home just so they learn that that's important. And she said all year that kid, and whenever he wanted to do anything with tools, the first thing he did is went back
Put
to
on
his
his
little
safety glasses.
toolbox and put his safety glasses on. I'm like, that's proof that is going to last with that kid forever.
Well,
And those
being-
are that's a great educational opportunities that we can provide these
And
kids.
being a teacher, you know
Yeah,
that if the kid is
totally.
moving their whole body through an activity,
They-
that's what they're going to
Yep,
remember.
exactly.
Not
Much
just
better
being
than
talked at.
yeah, and you
Here's
don't
the
sit in the
word,
classroom. Yep.
Hits the table.
Hands-on education,
Yeah.
experiential
Yeah,
learning,
yeah, experiential
whatever.
learning.
That's
And
where it
also,
lasts.
This is multiple intelligence.
Oh, of course.
Stuff
yeah.
like
oh, it is.
Unbelievable.
Yep, it's
like working
using your
with
hands.
tools,
Yep.
creative problem solving.
Yep, it's all
right.
that's what we do.
Oh my God.
There's so much.
just
I know,
so
and
much
this
integrated
is how
learning
education
here.
works. It's
Yeah.
hands-on, and that's the ultimate goal of this place. all ages. So anyhow, so the first was preserving the farm forever. The second is ag literacy for, K to 8 basically. Next thing we want to do is partner with high schools to provide some ag education here. And the public schools have the ag education programs at Woodbury and Lakeview and Winston, Housatonic, Chappaqua, so they have access, but private schools don't. So we're in talks with Taft and Rumsey and some others. They're very interested in having kids come up here for a couple hours each day to learn about farming and food and everything else that we do, have some hands-on experiences and do that. So we're going to provide high school aged education as well.
There's something else that factor in for the future. I mean, not that today, but I used to work at the Wellspring Foundation. In And part of the therapeutic program was gardening.
Yeah, well, also we were talking to Woodhall and some other schools around too that they,
Because
in
that's a
Devereaux.
whole, Devereaux,
Yeah,
that's a
all
whole
those
nother
guys.
ballgame. They bring their own staff.
Yeah,
but,
just a place to come and do that.
the
Yeah.
metaphor that the woman who used to run the gardening end was, I like to watch a kid who's got authority problems deal with roots that won't come out of the ground.
Yeah, that's great.
Because through
Or
how they
a calf that
approach-
you can't get the halter
Yeah,
on, or
how-
whatever it is. Yeah.
How they approach
Yeah.
their problem.
Yep.
When they
whole
solve it,
different-
it's
yeah.
a victory.
Oh
when
my
they,
gosh.
When they
Conquer it. It's
there's a
education at its
really
finest.
important parallel
regardless.
between
Yep. So
working
that's the
with
third
them.
thing is the high school age. We also want to offer industry-based certification programs for high school kids, like forklift operator, skid steer operator, food serve safe, food science, food safety kind of
Sure.
stuff. There's probably 30 or 40 different industry accepted credentials or certification programs that when we can offer it to a kid, then they can go get a job faster or get paid more because they already know that and they have that certification. So that's something that the local ag high schools don't have time to have a 3-hour block to do. We could offer it here, and that's what we want to do too. And then the fourth part is adult education, because there's so many adults who would love to come and learn all this stuff too. And last fall, we tested the waters and we did wreath making, floral arranging for Christmas and Thanksgiving and Easter. And when I was at Nanawag, we did welding, we did, introduction to welding, small gas engines, cheese making, sausage making, tree pruning, felting, canning, all that good stuff. And there's no place that adults can just come for a couple hours at night and learn something.
I was just talking to somebody yesterday that, overabundance of zucchini, but, I don't have a canning kitchen.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. So that's another part of it. So the adult ed experience, and there were all the ones we did were sold out. That people loved it. So I know there's an interest.
When the Arts Council had Danielle Mailer creating the mural on the Bantam Arts Factory, it was an all volunteer crew that came, and it was mostly women. And what the women said was, when they were working in community, it was being with people. They want more opportunities like that.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm wondering if, you have a lot to do around here and you don't have paid staff, but I bet you there might be community members who could benefit from doing volunteer work at the farm.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I've had a lot of people ask. It's just the management of that is also another piece. We just have to figure out.
That's what I mean. Like,
right, we have to. That's definitely on my list. Is at some point we will be able to.
Because that's almost a wellness program.
Yeah, truly.
For older adults.
Yep. And there's opportunities are endless here, and that's something in the future I'd love to be able to.
Yeah, that's
look
a
into.
perfect example of how this place is going
Can
to
evolve
exponentially.
Exactly. It's a little scary when you think.
Feel
I'm
a
thinking like,
local
wow, it's
world.
going to be big, but I can't wait. It's going to be really cool.
One little incremental
thing.
evolution at a time.
Yep, and then the fifth thing is really community access. It's making partners with the community. We want this place to be a reason people come to Litchfield. They come for White Memorial, they come for, the Arethusa ice cream, whatever, and they come to see Litchfield, but this would be a great thing to have them also.
Before you guys
come
got
to
rid
do
of
this.
the cows, we brought my grandkids here to see the cows.
Oh, I know.
Because
Oh,
after having been to Italy to see that
Oh, you want to come see?
dairy farm, I was like, I got to
Yeah,
see.
I
And
know.
there were so many
And
parallel
there's,
things.
oh, of course.
At the time, weren't they bathing the cows at the time?
Yeah, I guess they were, yeah.
At the farm in Italy, warm baths twice a day.
Yeah.
These cows had no stress.
Yeah.
They're producing the hell out
Yeah,
of it.
I know.
They were just like,
Yep.
life is so good
Yep.
here.
Oh, yeah. Well, any
Italia.
successful dairy farm,
Yeah.
the one thing with farms is if you don't take care of your animals, you don't have a product to sell, you're out of business. That's what people understand, that the farmers are the best caretakers because they understand they have to keep them healthy, for them
There's
to
a
keep
direct
going.
parallel
So,
here.
definitely.
In the evolution of history,
Yep.
art did not start to be created with, indigenous ancient populations until they were able to take care of survival.
Right,
They had
yes.
to have food, shelter, clothing,
Yep.
and free time.
Right, yeah.
Well, it's the same with the animals. When you
Right.
treat them in a way that their life is
They're-
basically blissful,
Right, yep.
then they can produce
Yeah.
something
Well,
creative
the
from
first
themselves.
thing a cow is not going to do is produce milk if she's not fed right, taken care of right, sheltered right. So
Yeah.
obviously the dairy
Stress.
farmers are the ones that they know what they're doing,
Yeah.
and the community has to understand that.
I mean, it's
it's-
a consciousness you're
Yeah,
dealing
exactly.
with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they work so hard. Oh my gosh, the farmers work so many hours and so hard. Hardest working people I know.
Very true.
And they would not do that if they didn't love what they did. And they
It's
are
a
going to take care of it.
vocation.
It is. It's a
vocation,
life.
like
It's a
teaching.
life. Yeah,
It's
it
a
is. Yep.
vocation. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really the community
You're not
access
in it
part.
to get
The
rich.
fifth part is having people able to come here for tours on weekends, having groups be able to meet here, and just, again, partner with community groups that want to have access to the place. And we'll get there. It's going to take a while to get there, but like you
Yeah,
said,
we're kind of very
a few
excited
things,
to be a part of it,
a
too.
few things really well, and then work on, instead of doing 12 things and not getting them all done. I want to do a few things
Sounds
well,
like
like
a
the camp. And
strategic plan is in the cooking.
we have one kind of.
Yeah.
It changes every day, but we have a 5-year plan
But they
of things
are
we want, because it's
living
fluid.
documents,
It is,
it
yeah.
is.
Because if you have a funder that comes up and is like, hey, I love the idea of a commercial kitchen, I'll take care of that now. Then that moves up from year 3 to year 1. That's just how we do it. So we know what we could do here, and we probably
All
haven't
the
even thought
farms
about
have
half
to
the
be
things.
creative in the present.
Oh yeah,
To
to
maintain
be able to,
themselves, to reinvent
It's a business, and yep.
themselves
Yep.
so that they can still
And
be alive.
right, and part of my goal also, just with everything I've done my whole life, is
Adaptability.
yep, and also to enhance and entice kids to realize there are so many careers that are related to agriculture. Farming also, but there's all the related occupations that they would really have a great rewarding career in, but they don't even know about it. So
That's
this
the
is a
same-
place where you can turn it on. Yeah.
Exactly the same things we're thinking about. People,
Right.
don't see artists. They don't see art being made. They
Right,
don't see
right.
artists in public.
Yep.
Same. Hey,
Yeah.
I didn't know it was a thing.
Yeah, no, I
it
know.
existed.
It's more people. Just an example, when I was at Nonawag, we'd have like 200 kids apply for 100 spots every year. So 8th graders, I would interview all of them. And the first question is, why do you want to come? Why do you want to come here? What do you want to do in the future? And 90% of them are like, I want to be a vet. I want to be a vet, which is great. They love their cat and dog. They love it, and they want to be a vet. However, so many of those kids come into our program, and then the first year we do a little bit of everything exploratory. Horticulture, mechanics.
Sure.
Show them what's out there.
Yeah.
Career exploration, if you want to call it. And so many of those kids came in wanting to be, I've one example, wanted to be an equine vet, and she took the horticulture freshman 10-week unit. She made a mug arrangement for her mom to bring home, one of our assignments. She's like, I really like this. I'm kind of good at it. And now she owns a successful floral business, Woodbury Floral Designs in Woodbury. Would never have known she had that interest or that talent unless she came and was exposed to that. So that's the kind of thing we're doing here with our camp. 6 weeks of the 10 weeks, we have a discovery camp. So Monday, environmental science, Tuesday, horticulture, Wednesday, large animal, then small animal, and then ag mechanics. So it's a little
supplementing
taste of everything.
local schools that
Yeah.
can't
Exactly.
really
and they
give
can't,
them everything.
Exactly. So that's what we hope to do, and have some of these kids be like, hey, I love, I don't want to be a vet, but maybe I want to develop pet food, or I want to help, come up with better medicines for, whatever. There's all these related
Sure.
occupations on every, forestry,
Sure.
floriculture, landscaping, food science, all these things. 20% of the careers in the country are related to ag. 1 out of 5,
Yeah.
if you think about it.
Yeah.
And food obviously is pretty important, but all the related industries that help make
Right.
it happen are part of it too. So.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to do here is agricultural education for all ages. I always say from ages 5 to 95. It's the camp is 5 to
Amazing.
13, and then adult education, and then the access and the high school stuff. It's exciting.
So this is our new school.
What's that?
This is our new school.
Oh, I know. It's perfect. Yeah.
This is our new school, the
Yep,
Arethusa
you're
School.
more than welcome to come and
Yeah.
paint anytime and see what's
Well,
going on.
I'm absolutely going to take
It'd be cool
you
to
up
do a
on that.
seasonal, almost.
Oh, do it.
The fall with the colors, the
We
winter
can do it.
scenes.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, we're going to really, September the 12th to the 20th is our painting event, and we're going to make sure that our artists put
Okay.
this on their agenda
Yeah.
to And we'll let you know.
12th to the 20th in the fall.
12th to the 20th.
Yeah.
So at some
we have a
point
huge
during
event
those
in
days,
on the 19th that night in here.
we
So
have
other than
our
that,
own-
we have
our huge event is on the 19th.
Oh, it is?
too, at
Okay.
5 points. That's
Oh,
our big
okay.
thing,
Yeah.
so
Yep. Yeah, I
we
worked with
won't be
them.
doing-
I was up in extension service, and I knew
Right.
Judy and all those guys. They're great people. Yeah.
They're our partners.
Yeah, and they were excited. I told them about what's happening here too,
Yeah.
and so yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
awesome.
our next meeting's back up there.
Good.
Doing
We'll say
our
hi to them
deeds.
for me. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
so
Well,
much,
thank
Bill.
you. Yeah, I hope I
So much.
gave you some information,
You
but
did.
we're just excited.
Excellent.
So.